Get it started. Yes. We're here today with Miss Sarah Gladden and Miss Patricia Gladden, and what we're going to be talking about is the riots of 1968, how it relates to them. And first, I want to say thank you, Miss Sarah, Grandma, for just setting in for this. What I would like to know is, what do you remember mostly about the riots of 1968?
Well, I remember I was working at the time, and everybody was going down the hallway and I worked in the hospital, and everybody was going down the hallway going to this TV room, and that's when we found out that Martin Luther King had been killed. And I left from work, and I went to my mother's, and I checked her out and everything, and I went to talk to her about it, because you always talk to your mother about things that upset you. And then I left from there, and I went home with my family.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I got home with my family, I didn't realize how, because up around that way, where my mother and them, it was mostly black people, and it was like black bars and everything up around in there. So it wasn't too much going on, but it was very quiet up there. But by the time I got on the bus and I got home and everything, and got in the house and then turned on the television, I was shocked to find out that so much was going on. Yes. And in the meantime, the children started coming running in and out, and they were saying, oh, they up there, they was all up there, the whole bunch of them from the block was up at the up on North Avenue and off of Longwood. And there was like stores and stuff like that up there, and drug stores and all that kind of stuff. And they went up there and they was trying to, they broke the windows and broke into places and stole whatever they could get to steal from out there, and they would bring the stuff home. And then a couple of my children came and said, Ma, look what I got. And I said, take it right back where you got it from. I said, because I ain't going no jail for nothing. Now, what is going on around here anyway? So they said, oh, Miss So let them bring. I said, you're not bringing that stuff in there. So then I went on to bed. So the next morning, I got up and didn't look at television or nothing, and went to go out to go to work on North and Longwood to catch the bus to go back to work, because I worked in the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
And I didn't think, didn't realize that when I got up there and I was standing there, I don't know where the National Guards came from, but I didn't see them, but all of a sudden one of them walked up to me and said, where do you think you're going? And I said, I'm going to work. I work at University Hospital. So they say, I'm sorry, but you can't go because there's no bus running, and I advise you to go back in the house. And
how did this get started? The rioting and stuff.
The rioting started because they had killed Martin Luther King.
Whoa.
That's what I found out when I went in that room. And it was because there was the nurses, doctors, everybody was running into the television room. We was on the children's floor and had television, and when I got up there to find out what was going on, that's when I found out they was all looking at that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's when I found out, they said, and I said, what happened? And they said, oh, you didn't know it. Said, they just killed Martin Luther King. Well, of course, everybody got to crying. Everybody, the blacks were crying, the whites were looking at us like we were crazy, you know what I mean, and trying to figure it out. And everybody started looking at each other kind of ugly. The whites were looking at the blacks, and the blacks were looking at the whites.
Yes.
So, and that's how that got started. So.
Yes, ma'am. And how long did this last, the rioting?
Well, I think it was like 2 or 3 days before it really was over, because we weren't allowed to come out of the house, not even on the steps.
Yes, ma'am.
And because they had the National Guards everywhere. But everything quieted down after they got everything together. Then they had the National Guard picking up people on the street, and everybody got themselves together and went on, I guess, and went on and mourn to themselves, because that's what they were trying to mourn and didn't know after.
Yes, ma'am. And was anything accomplished because of this rioting? I mean, was anything, made better or anything like that? Was like the communities, anything like that? I mean...
The community, to me, the part that I was in looked like it was the same. you know what I mean? The stores that got broke in, was Patsy can tell you about that, about the community part.
Yes, ma'am.
What was going on with that? Because she's a little younger than me, and she can think a little fast. It comes to her a little.
But you do real well. You do real well.
Yeah. Come on, Patsy.
Thank you very much.
You are.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, that's a good 5 minutes there.